In this part of the lesson, we're going to learn how to use a basic do loop to create a section of repeating code in a subroutine. Let's start by opening up the file that I've downloaded and extracted, and then we can click the Enable Content button. What we have here is a workbook containing 8 separate worksheets, each of which contains a set of 6 football matches from the FIFA 2018 World Cup. What we'd like to do is predict a score for each match, and in order to do that we need to generate random numbers for one match and then move on to the next and continue doing that until we reach the end of the list. And then when we've done that, we need to repeat that whole same set of instructions moving on to the next worksheet and continue doing that until we've run out of worksheets. All we've done so far, we can have a look at the simple code in the Developer tab and then the Visual Basic Editor, is we've written the code that goes to the first worksheet and the first match and then generates a random score for that one single match. And you can see that working if I were to run that subroutine and then look back at the Excel workbook. I can see that I predicted a draw between Russia and Saudi Arabia. Now, in order to get this code to repeat, we need to use some kind of loop. There are several different types of loops in VBA. The type of loop we're going to stick with in this particular video is a do loop. In order to create a loop, let's head back to the Visual Basic Editor, and we need to identify which particular section of code we want to repeatedly execute. So we don't want to continue going on to worksheet 1 and continually selecting range A3. What we do want to do is continue generating random scores. So let's begin our loop before the line which generates the first random score, and we can do that by writing simply the word do. We also then need to tell the code at which point it needs to return to the top of the loop to continue repeating the instructions, and we can do that by writing the word loop. It's conventional to indent the code within a loop structure one space, just in the same way we indent code within a sub and indent code within an if statement. So if we do that, what we can then do is rearrange the screen so we can see both Excel and the VB editor window. And then if I use the F8 key to begin stepping through, we should see that when we get to the do line and then execute the random score generator, so we'll see different scores get generated for Russia and Saudi Arabia. When I reach the loop line, I can hit F8 again and it returns to the first statement inside the do loop. And each time I press F8 on the loop line, it returns to the first instruction inside the loop and generates a new set of random scores for each. So the problem we have at the moment, of course, is that our loop simply doesn't know when to end. If I carried on pressing F8, it will continue running around the loop structure, generating new random scores for the first match. This is why I was very careful to use the F8 key to step through, rather than F5 or click the green triangle to run the entire procedure. Because if I do that, I would enter an infinite or an endless loop, and I'd have to have some way to break into the loop. It's worthwhile just very quickly demonstrating this, but if you're going to do it yourself, it's worthwhile saving the code you've written so far before you attempt this. So I'm going to hit the reset button to stop the entire thing, and then I'm going to quickly click the green triangle to start the procedure, and then very shortly afterwards press the escape key to break into it. So if I hit the green triangle to start running, you can see it's going round and round and round. I'll press escape to break into the code. If I press escape, I get a dialog box which tells me I've interrupted the execution of my code, which is exactly what I wanted to do. I could choose to continue, which would just enter the infinite loop again, which is no good. I could end the entire procedure at this point by clicking end. If I click debug, it just shows me which line was being executed at the point I pressed escape, so that's not particularly useful either. In this case, I'll choose end. Now, of course, to make this system in any way useful whatsoever, we need to make our loop understand when it needs to end. To do that, we need to make sure that we've moved down to the next match once we finish generating some scores for the first. And we can continue doing that until we reach a cell which we know is empty. So let's add the code into our loop, which will move down one single cell. Let me just maximize the screen again so I can see the full width. And then if I give myself a blank line or two at the bottom of our loop. So still within the do loop structure, I'm going to say active cell dot offset 1, 0 to move one row down from where I currently am, and then select to select that cell. Now, to determine whether I should exit from the loop, I can write an if statement. So I can say if active cell dot value equals an empty string, then We've already seen in previous videos in this module that we can exit a subroutine. I don't want to exit the entire sub here. What I would like to do is simply exit from the loop. So I can do that by writing exit, and not loop, annoyingly, exit do. So at this point, my loop will continue going round, repeating the same set of instructions until it meets an empty cell. We can now test this again. Let's run through the first couple of iterations of the loop using the F8 key to step through, just to make sure it is indeed moving. So if I use the F8 key, I've rated I've generated some random scores for the first match. Then I'm going to move down one cell, which we can see happening. And then it's going to check, am I in an empty cell yet? Well, clearly I'm not. So it reaches the loop statement and then goes back to the top and then repeats. So there we go. I'm getting a new set of scores for the next match, and then moving down again. I'm pretty confident that the rest of this is going to work. So at this point, I'm going to hit the continue button, always bearing in mind that I need to press escape if I accidentally do still end up in an infinite loop. But I'm going to click continue, and I should find that I get all the matches with a set of random scores generated. So we have our code now successfully stopping when it reaches the bottom of the table, when it reaches an empty cell. We now need to get it to move to the next worksheet and repeat that same set of instructions. Let's start by maximizing the VB editor window again, and then after we've looped through a first table, we can write the code that will move on to the next sheet. We can do that by referencing the active sheet, and the active sheet has a property called next, which sadly, because the IntelliSense doesn't work for active sheets, you can't see, but I can apply the select method to the next property of the active sheet, and that will move on to the next worksheet, the worksheet to the right. So the next sheet will be the one immediately to the right of the currently active one. Now I want to continue doing that, and then going back to cell A3 at the top of that sheet, and then going into and looping through the table within that sheet. So I need to wrap another do loop around this set of statements. So let's go up to the top. I don't want to include the worksheet1.select statement inside my loop, otherwise I'll continue going back to the group A worksheet. So I want to begin my do loop just before I select the first cell, the first match on that sheet. I then want to loop back to the top of that statement after I've moved to the next one. So let's add my loop statement just at the end there. Again, just to tidy up, we should indent all the code within this new do loop, one space, so we can highlight all of that and then press tab. And I'll just give myself an extra little space here, an extra blank line just before the loop keyword. Now I've told my subroutine to continue moving on to the next sheet after it's finished with the current one. The problem with that is, what happens if I'm already on the final sheet? Is the code clever enough to work out that there is no next sheet to select? The answer to that is sadly no, it isn't intelligent enough. We have to tell it not to move to the next sheet if I'm already on the last one. A really simple way to do that is to write an if statement to check if the next worksheet is nothing. So let's go back to the VB editor and let's add a new instruction just before we attempt to move to the next sheet. I'm going to write an if statement that says if active sheet.next is nothing, then. And what I'd like to do at this point is exit from the outer do loop, so the one that I'm currently in here, the outer loop. So I can write another exit do statement. Okay, so at that point the code is complete. We should next just give it a quick test to make sure that it works. It might be worthwhile using the F8 key just to step through the first iteration. So we go through the list of teams on the group A sheet and all the games, and we've reached and generated random scores, moved down to the next blank cell. So at this point we should exit this inner do loop and then move on to the next sheet, because it's not nothing. The next sheet is the group B sheet. So if I press F8 there, we'll move on to the next sheet and then select cell A3 at the top and then start generating random scores for those as well. So all that looks pretty good. At this point I'm confident enough that I'm going to click the continue button or press F5 and check that we get all the way through to the group H sheet with all of our scores, predictions generated. And you can go back through the other worksheets and check. Maybe you want to find the sheet that's got your team or your favourite team in it and see how well they would have done. Oh, not very well apparently. Oh well, there we go. So the important thing is that we've got the do loops working and exiting correctly based on our conditions. At this point, you can either continue with the extra practice session at the end of this part of the lesson, just to gain some more experience with writing do loops. Alternatively, you can move on to the next part of the lesson, which explains how to write something called a do until loop.